Thanksgiving is not just a response of thanks when something goes your way or you're granted a favor. You see, true thanksgiving is not an outside formality. It's an inside reality. It's your default. True thanksgiving is a default. And it's not something done for you. It's something done inside of you. When the alarm clock rings tomorrow morning, what's your attitude? I've made it a point, on purpose, every time I hear the alarm clock, to thank God. The Bible says, "This is the day that the Lord has made." Say that with me. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be made glad in it. Only a fraction of the human population ever truly thanks God personally. Only a fraction of the human population ever truly lives a life of gratitude. It's so easy to start with a complaining attitude. It's so easy to roll out of bed and start seeing the glass as half empty. What isn't that should be? What's lost that I should have? And so on and so on. And it's just a pattern of thinking. Thankfulness is a decision. Am I choosing thankfulness over complaining? Moment by moment. We all woke up today. But how many of us thanked God for it? Let's take an assessment of our prayer life for a second. What percentage of my prayers are complaints? How much of my time speaking to God is offering thanksgiving out of a heart of gratitude or complaining out of a heart of bitterness and insecurity? When we start off each day complaining, because here's the thing about complaining. Complaining almost always lacks perspective. What we are missing in the midst of our negative attitude and our complaining and whining is perspective. Instead of focusing on the goodness and the grace of God in our lives, we get fixated on what we don't have, on what someone else has instead of us. We can lose perspective and we just forget about how we've been blessed. God, forgive me for the days I've not been grateful. If you don't understand this principle, prayer can turn into a complaining session where we just air out all our worries, tell God everything that's wrong and how bad life is. And God, I can't take this anymore. It's a whole different perspective to say, God, I have all these things coming against me, but I want to thank you that you are fighting my battles. Thank you that you hold victory in store for the upright. Thank you that what's meant for my harm, you're turning to my advantage. If we're honest, it's easier to complain than it is to worship and be thankful, isn't it? Like, if we're honest in here, every one of us, can we be honest? We really like complaining. I love complaining. Why? Because it puts the problem on somebody else, not me. Doesn't matter what's going on. It doesn't matter how much I might have caused the problem. When I complain, all of a sudden, it's not my problem. It's someone else's problem. And no one really likes to hear others complain, do we? And yet we all love to complain, especially when we go through difficult circumstances, especially when life doesn't look the way that we think it should look, or things don't turn out the way that we think they should. Our initial instinct is to complain, not give thanks. Understand this. Complaining is the default. Gratitude is a choice. And even when things look the way they are, you can still choose thankfulness. You can still choose gratitude. You can still choose worship. When we wake up in the morning, you know what I say? I sit up and go, Jesus, thank you. I'm alive. I woke up alive. I have one more day to praise you. Think about the things that God provides for you that cost you nothing. When you get up in the morning tomorrow, go. Find something to be grateful for and thank Jesus for it. In the words of Dietrich Bonhoeffer, he says this, He says it is only with gratitude that life becomes rich. I take time every morning to start the day off in faith, pray and read my Bible. But 90% of my prayer time is thanking God for what He's done and thanking Him for what He's promised. Father, thank you that I'm blessed. Thank you that you've crowned me with favor. Thank you that I'm anointed. Thank you that my children are mighty in the land. Thank you that your angels watch after us, Lord. I thank you that you're still in control. I thank you that your mercy is bigger than my mistakes, that you're the God of another chance, that your purpose for my life can still come to pass.